People want to become world champions, to break new records, to win gold medals. Some people want to be inventors, to discover solutions and to help our planet. Some people want to be on stage, to dress up in costumes and act in plays. I'm also one of these people. My dream too is something special. I wish to be someone who is kind and caring, someone who is loving and sharing. My dream is to be the best person I can be. Thank you.
What is your name? Tatu Maseko.
I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter twisted lies. You may throw me in the ditch, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, wound head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Leaving behind nights of toil and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that is wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gift that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of slaves. I rise, thank you.
Joy, I don't know where to begin. We were not joined at first. We met recently. And when I saw Joy, I saw a woman that is dedicated to the human development. Somebody who has both the head and the heart in the right place. Dedicated, I'm sure the business partners and the principals will tell you more about that. And it's one of those things that I believe without human development, any nation cannot get anywhere. There is no nation that can go forward and deal with all other challenges in life, in society, if education is not there. So Joy, I would like you to come here and give us a little bit of a context of how you have managed this project and the celebration that we're having today. The stage is yours.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For the past few days, I've been trying to put together a speech. And a few hours ago, I just chucked it out and I said, for goodness sake, I talk for a living. And I connect with hearts for a living. Who needs a speech? And I said I'm going to have conversations with my guests. And my principals and business partners being the VIPs. And I'm saying my principals, sounds like I'm a mother hen, right? I've spent the past 12 years with these beautiful souls. And before I even go there, let me honor protocol. IBC, Re, Ndate, Lusufi, Kaspedi, Ratamisha. Aleluya. We welcome you on behalf of everyone present here tonight and not with us. We'd really like to thank you. We're grateful and honored for the support that you've been giving us, and continually you're giving us that support. Despite of your hectic schedule, you managed to create time to be here with us this evening to celebrate these beautiful souls. Thank you. Tonight wouldn't have been possible without you. We're here because of you. The founder, your vision, your big idea, your passion is what brought us here this evening. And thank you for that. Matthew Goniwe, School of Leadership and Governance. Can see Dr. V. Where's Dr. V? We'd like to thank you so much for the support that you've given us and you're still giving us on this project. 66 schools in Gauteng from under-resourced schools. But I will share my journey that when I started getting my hands dirty and going to the schools and having conversations with the principals, with the communities, I actually realized that under-resourced is not the right term. So thank you, Matthew Goniwe, School of Leadership and Governance.
My story is not too dissimilar to the story that has been told many times this evening. So instead of repeating what you have heard, I just wanted to focus my very, very brief remarks on potential business partners. I got involved with the program acting, you could say, purely out of self-interest. I was curious as a business person to try gain a much better understanding of what is going on at our schools at the coalface. I was partnered up with Mehadi Feli, Motladile from Motladile Primary School in Duwe. The school currently accommodates about 233 learners, and it is also deemed to be a non-performing school. I was struck by a few things. Firstly, as I got involved, I moved from looking at the school as a business partner, but looking at it through the lens of being a father. I have a 5-year-old, and I'm fortunate enough to have done relatively well and have been clearly one of the beneficiaries of the very, very deliberate policies that the government has implemented since 1994. Having said that, there continues to be a big gap between some of us who have been able to take advantages of the opportunities that have been presented and many, many of our people in this country. Some of the challenges that our schools face, some of the issues with respect to infrastructure and facilities have been well articulated. And my view is that there's a lot that government can do. There's a lot that government has done with respect to the infrastructure, but that is not enough. And it is not only the government's responsibility to attend to these challenges, but it is our responsibility as a community, and our parents, the parents of the schools have a great, great role to play. And in fact, they are potentially the single biggest lever that can be pulled in the system to, in order to deliver better outcomes for our kids. One of the things that I did, and I think for potential business partners who are in this room, one of the things that I focused on was to make sure that whatever intervention, little intervention that I can make, it is sustainable beyond the partnership. So I really focused on getting the school community talking. I facilitated, I guess, what many people in business would understand as your classical strategic planning session. We had the school principal, we had members of we had teachers there, and we had members of the school governing board. and really got them to start thinking about, in 3 years' time, sitting in the same room, if, what sort of picture would they like to see? What should Moetapele Primary School look like in 3 years' time? So having painted that picture of ideally what this school should look like in 3 years' time, we then started talking about the current reality, the issues that they faced, but more importantly, we got into a conversation about what needed to be done to move from the current reality to the ideal school in 3 years' time.
Thank you so much, Joy, Ibrahim, and Sarah, for making things possible for today. It is an honor for today to be here to represent Lufering Primary School. If I'm talking about Lufering Primary School, our school Lufering, it is situated in Lufering location in RDP houses, not very far from Dobsonville location. It is a new school that opened in March 2013 with about 660 learners and 15 educators. The school started with 11 educators to teach, and later it was joined by the 6 educators and 4 PS staff in April. It caters learners from grade R up to 7, disadvantaged learners from disadvantaged families. Most learners are from child-headed families. Often learners staying with great parents who depend on social grants, also some with foster parent. But in 2016, the school has grown up to 1,235 learners. Now we're having 3 classes for the grade R learners. The grade R learners are 108. We are having many learners in our school. Let me come to curriculum. If I'm talking about curriculum, I'm talking about teaching and learning. Curriculum delivery is a huge challenge for educators as they teach 50 to 60 learners per class, especially junior phase. This makes assessment very difficult to conduct.
So they say that to the man with only a hammer, every problem starts looking like a nail. So I've been consulting a lot in mining. So when I arrived, clearly your school looked like a mine. but I must say, as a mine manager, you're better than any mine manager I've ever come across. Much nicer. So, for me as a partner, it's easy to get the hope going and get people excited, but the question is what happens when we leave. So we spent a lot of time and effort in thinking about that, and what we agreed on is that, first of all, we agree that the ultimate measure is that we need to get the ANA results better. That's an objective measure. It is something that it doesn't matter what else we do, we have to perform against that. And then we said, but what's the easiest way of doing it? And we agreed that it is to get people, or the teachers and the school children, to have fun again in learning. And that's exactly the intervention. That's the biggest advantage. When you see how much fun the children have, you know that you can sit back and this thing will carry itself. So I can say a lot more, but let me stop right there before you might get taken away. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. All protocol observed. To our colleagues, principals, to the business partners. This is my business partner, Carmen Digas. We're also going to speak from our hearts. Nandi Primary is situated in an affluent area in Diploma Extension, but most of our kids come from the hostel. When I met Carmen, we decided to make something drastic to ensure that those kids that are from the hostel can be something. I remember when PFP started and Louis was there at Medugonewe, I was reluctant and saying, but we've got a lot of work to do. Why are we here? Fortunately, Louis, thanks to you, we have achieved so many things. Today I was told that they will be getting computers through our business partner, you know. Carmen is somebody, is a business partner that if you tell her that something has happened, she would automatically go out and try and make connections and networks just to ensure that the school is running. Our school is situated in an area where there's vandalism. So in most cases, anything that we get as resources at the later stage, thieves come and pounce on our things. And we thought that through time to think, we need to come up with some mechanism of trying to do things. Thanks.
Thank you. Firstly, hi to everybody, and thank you for making the time to come through. I really want to appeal to the partners today with what I'm going to tell you. Partners for Possibility, what I've gained from this journey is perspective, and that's been powerful for me. I just want to relay a quick story. Late last year, I received a letter from a school in Tuyando, in Limpopo. And the letter basically said, please can we get some money for towards a sponsorship? And they sent me some pictures where they've got this long toilet kind of thing. It's a structure, and there's these little blocks, and these are the kids' toilets. They're not enclosed, so you can see your neighbor that's in the toilet and stuff like that. So I sent it to a particular department in the company and spoke to a particular manager, and I gave her my plight. And the response I got back was, sorry, this doesn't fall part of our scope, and besides, we can't be doing government's job. I mean, if private companies do this, then the governments are not doing their job. When I got that response, because I've been on this journey and I've gained the perspective, it hit me. I had to actually take a moment. Basically, my response was, what I've been involved with Partners for Possibility, the fact that I believe, and it's not because our Honourable MC is here, I believe that government can't do it on its own. In fact, they should not be doing it on its own. And that was my response to her, that we've got no choice but to get involved in order to, this is not building or assisting governments, it's actually assisting a society and building society. In a nutshell, what basically happened is that early in January, we were given 20,000 rand towards this project. And that particular manager called me and said, Carmen, can you assist me in re-looking at our sponsorships and how we can support schools? Which was amazing for me. And my response, had I not been on this journey, would probably have been, yes, it is government's responsibility. Our attitudes of, our governments are useless. But having been on this journey, it's not. I've seen the challenges within the school. I've seen what government has done. One of our partners was handed a beautiful school, Joy. Absolutely amazing. I've seen the challenges in our communities where our kids are from. I mean, we held a market day last year, and we went there to raise funds and get money and sell stuff to raise funds for the school. When we got there, the same hot dogs that we were meant to sell, we fed those kids. The same clothing that we were meant to sell, we gave away to the community. Because that's where our kids come from. And that perspective, that's what's amazing about perspective. It changes the way you think, it changes the decisions you make, and it changes the actions that you would normally do. So to every partner that's here that's thought about this journey, if there's one thing you gain from this, if you gain perspective, it's going to be powerful enough for us to change our country.
Dibi, 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 any waste of time, I want to acknowledge my deputy principal on my extreme left, together with my daughter, and all protocol observed. I wish to present a good story about Leratong Primary School, and I want to present it from the heart. Dawood is our partner, is the CEO of Fair Price. He turned the corner for us. I learned through this journey that anybody without common sense will never produce super sense. Therefore, it is through partnership for possibility that in Leratong we are able to say with our common sense we can produce super sense. And we also learned through this journey that confidence without competence is frustration. Therefore, I don't want to run the risk of repeating what others have said. I just want to say, through this journey, we were able to acknowledge teachers who have done well, who went on retirement, who received refrigerators from Fair Price through Dawood. Oh, wow. We also held several workshops where we trained our educators, because we thought the greatest investment that we can do in our school is to invest in our educators so that they can be able to invest more in our little kids. Through the facilitator Joy, we were able to do many developmental workshops and training that were funded by Fair Price. And we want to thank them in absentia, because we believe that the school has made great strides because of them. Without them, we wouldn't do anything. Lots and lots of developments within our school happened because of them. They donated bags of cement and many other resources that we used to change the environment so that our kids can be able to prevail in a conducive environment where teaching and learning will prevail at the end of the day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, MEC, honorable guests, fellow principals. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to be here tonight. Eldridge Primary School, or let me say, we were not part of Partners for Possibilities. I think we shared the same thing, and both of our business partners has deserted the two of us because we came in late. But we became part of this dynamic project as one of the principals has withdrawn from the project. Eldridge Primary has always been a performance school, and we strive to keep it above standard. But MEC, it's Partners for Possibilities. It's a possibility, and I love making use of opportunities as well. Eldridge Primary School is the asbestos school that I mentioned the other day. And just last week, my educators and parents went on strike. They were trained after school in front of the school, and they said, enough is enough. There is a physically and mentally challenged young man that came into the school, and he also joined. And he's the face of Eldorado Park. When you go in there and you ask for Maniki, they will tell you he's Maniki. And he also joined in. Instead of saying enough is enough, he shouted, Inas kukunas, Inas kukunas. So even my name, he doesn't call me Mr. Kluter, I'm Mr. Skooker. But he's got a beautiful name. His name is Tyrone Charles Duplessis. But he also joined to say enough is enough. Possibilities, a world of possibilities. We became part of this project as we have seen it as a possibility to do much better. R.S. Zander and B. Zander mentioned in their book, The Art of Possibility, that it makes a humane and a brilliant future possible. It is also a chronicle of a unique life partnership told in colorful parables. Collaboration, working together. This is what I've learned from Partners for Possibilities. If you work on your own, you'll die alone. But if you surround yourself with people, you will come up.
You can't say education is priority number one, but fail to prioritize the implementers of that priority. And I'm excited that when the president, after we've exerted pressure to the president, when he established the Presidential Remuneration Commission to look at the salaries of our educators, I'm proud that I'm the only MEC in the entire country that made a presentation to that commission, no any other MEC. Because I value our educators, I value our principals. Remember, this is the only career that gives birth to other careers. And if you can't get quality where it's needed, you'll never have quality in the country. You don't know. All of us, one or another, came to Johannesburg because we're looking for that mine and we're looking for that gold. That gold is gone. The future gold of this country is our young one. Take care of that gold because it's the one that will create jobs for us in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I just want to take this moment to thank each and every one of you for making this evening a success. Overflowing with gratitude. And I feel like saying something will just spoil this moment that I'm in right now. And all I want to say is thank you, and thank you.
Thank you.